Hi, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for tuning in today. This is going to be one of the most important podcasts that you will ever listen to because I'm going to talk about why you need to make your personal health, your physical health, and your mental health, why you need to make that your number one priority above everything else. I know that we all want to be, a wonderful husband or a wonderful wife or be a wonderful parent or be the best coworker or be involved with your civic organizations or all those different things you want to do and contribute in your life. But let's be clear. If you don't have your health, everything else falls by the wayside. You could have more time than anybody you know, more money than anybody you know, but if you don't have your health, all of a sudden everything else in your life is going to take a back seat. I need you to ask yourself this question as soon as this podcast is over. What specifically are you trying to accomplish in your life? What is the big picture? What is your desired outcome? Why are you going to work every day or getting up and doing these different things for your spouse or for your kids or for your coworkers, for your house? All these different things that you're involved in. You're doing all those things because you want to position yourself and your loved ones for the very best future. And if you're not focused on your health and making it your number one priority, all the things that you've done in the past and all the things that you're hoping to do in the future are not going to occur. So ask yourself, like I said, what specifically are you trying to accomplish in your life? So for me, let me give you a little bit of overview. My background is in time management, corporate management, whatever. And one of the things I learned a long time ago is when you're setting up your weekly calendar, your weekly schedule, I do mine on Saturday mornings. I have it all set up there. I have everything set up 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week. What am I going to do? Where am I going to schedule all those blocks of time? Absolutely, no doubt about it. I have time every single day to make sure that I'm getting in some exercise. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to be going to the gym. I'm going to have a podcast coming up in a few days regarding the things that you can do at home to stay super healthy, both mentally and physically. But I can say this, you've got 24 hours a day. Make it a point to walk at least 30 minutes a day. Why would you not do that? Make it a point to just take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to do some jumping jacks, to do some planks, to get your heart pumping. Remember, the heart is a critical, important muscle in your body, the most largest muscle, probably the most important muscle. You got to make sure that you're making your body, your joints working. And don't tell me that you don't have time to do that. You've got 24 hours in a day. Don't tell me that you don't have 30 minutes to walk and walk and listen to a podcast or do 10 or 15 or 20 minutes of exercise, get on the ground, do a plank while you're in front of the TV or do some crunches or some sit-ups. Just do 5 sit-ups, do 10 push-ups, do 15 jumping jacks, do 20 squats. It's not hard, but you got to be keeping your body moving. So that's number one. Number two, let's talk about the foods that you're eating. I just did a podcast regarding the foods that have been scientifically known to cause cancer. That's not me saying that. That's what science is saying. Making sure that you're putting the right foods in your body. Now, I don't expect you to do what I do, but here's what I learned a long time ago. I want to be putting in fruits, vegetables, nuts, and beans. My diet is based on those 4 items all the time. I'm not one that's going to eat meat. I'm not one that's going to be eating donuts. I'm not one that's going to be eating, fried foods or things like that because I know they're really not good for your body. If I told you, listen now, if I said to you that the car that you're driving right now is the last car you're ever going to own in your life, you'll never have another car, you would take perfect care of that car. If you knew your car had to last you 20 or 30 years, you would take excellent care of that vehicle. You wouldn't be putting sugar in the gas tank. You wouldn't be putting sand in the oil cap. You wouldn't be putting milk in with your radiator because you knew that would just ruin your car. Well, if you know that you had one car for the rest of your life, your body needs to last you for the rest of your life. So don't put those bad chemicals, those bad sugars, those things that are known to be not good for your body, the things that are going to cause you to gain weight, the things that are going to make your heart struggle. Don't put those things in your body because if your goal is to live a nice, long, happy, healthy life with your family and your loved ones, your friends, or whatever, You don't want to be putting those things. I'm not sure if you're a smoker. If you're not a smoker, I mean, think back to where the world was 50, 60 years ago when everybody was smoking because it was cool, it was fun, it was the new thing to do. Well, no, very, very few people smoke now because they know it's so bad for your body. I think 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's already there. People are going to learn more than ever how bad sugar is for your body and those types of things. So schedule time put time in your calendar every week to make sure you're walking, you're doing your physical exercise, you're mentally thinking about why you want to be healthy. And of course, again, I know that there's people out there that say, oh my goodness, I'm too busy. Make sure you're going and getting your annual physical every year. Make sure you're going to the dentist a couple times a year. Make sure you're flossing. Make sure you're going to get an annual exam by the dermatologist to make sure there's no issues on your skin. Get your hearing exam, get your eyes examined, get your blood tested. Don't tell me that you're too busy to do that. You've got, like I've said, 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. You got 52 weeks a year. When you're sitting down going through your calendar on what you're going to be planning on doing over the next 7 days, 14 days, over the next month or whatever, you got to be focused on putting those things on your calendar, putting them in a time block, and understanding why you are doing what you're doing every day. If you're out working 30, 40, 50 hours a week, if you're running around and helping your children, helping your spouse, doing all these things, you've got a yard, you're cutting the grass, make sure that you're focused on your health. Because if all of a sudden your health was to fail you, think of how that would affect your family. Think of all the different things that you're doing as part of a team at work, at your family, wherever, civic organizations, the time that you donate. Figure if all of that was gone in your life. And now, instead of doing all the fun things you want to be doing, imagine if you're visiting doctors all the time, or you became disabled and you're going to therapies all the time and all those different issues. Imagine if you found out that you had cancer and it was something that you may have been able to have prevented. Or imagine if you have heart disease and you figured that, oh my goodness, if I had only changed my diet earlier in life, a lot of these different issues could have been resolved. In my opinion, for me anyways, I don't want a doctor cutting into my body. I don't want to be dealing with issues that I know that if I had only changed my habits years earlier, that different things could have been prevented. So that's my spiel. That's what I'm sharing with you today. In my opinion, health has to be your number one priority. Again, I'll repeat myself. If you could have all the money in the world, you could have all the time in the world, you could have the best family, you could have the best of everything. But if you don't have your health, everything else is going to take a back seat. And the people that love you are going to be there for you. But believe me, that's not how, in my opinion, you want to be living in the future. Just like I said when I started out, ask yourself, what specifically are you trying to accomplish in your life? What is your desired outcome? What do you want in your future? So that's it. I'm hoping you got a little bit of information from this. Listen to this again. Listen to it every day if you have to, if you need to stay motivated. But it's really, really critical. Again, make health your number one priority. So thank you for sticking out with me. I know that I ranted on a little bit, but I'm hoping you got some value out of this podcast. If you've listened to this podcast before, great. But if you haven't, let me explain to you that I make podcasts like this every single day. It's based on 4 areas. Number 1, we all want to have great health. We all want to have lots of time. We all want to have lots of money, and we all want to have really good habits. I make a podcast based on those 4 subjects every single day. Please consider subscribing to my podcast. I'm always going to share with you valuable information. I truly believe it'll help you. It'll help your family. Please share this podcast with your family and friends. Hopefully they'll get some good information out of it. And if you've got any comments, please add them to the comment section below. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. I know I had a lot of information in there for you. I'm hoping you got some good details from this. Until tomorrow, thank you again for listening. I appreciate your support. This is Raymond Rose.